Welcome to the Elemental Grace Alliance. Dear ones, this is the introduction to the Elemental Grace Alliance website for greater clarity of its purpose and divine intentions. You are being invited here now to take the time to carefully read this sharing before you enter this site, as it has vital information if you are already aware of your purpose in becoming one of the new Christed beings or human angels to walk here upon the earth. This site is not a normal site in terms of design, union, or communication. That is relationship with the outer world around you and you. You may read much here, but in that relationship between you and the words, images, visuals, and mandalas, your lower mind may not find the deeper truth contained within them. This site, like the books it contains, has throughout it the language of light, which was consciously and with divine intention and purpose embedded in every word, image, visual, and mandala, in every available space, allowing it to hold not only what is being said and seen, but all that in the higher conscious of truth that cannot be said in the lower vibration resonance of human consciousness, and understood or even received to act upon. This is cosmic law. So do not be surprised that while you are reading or looking at anything herein, that you may receive subtle bodily impressions and responses. This will be your inner self, the God within you communicating with you, the real you. It will be indicating the possibility of beginning the recalibrations of your resonance and light quotients. You may begin to understand this more if you have been guided here through YouTube or other visual or sound recordings. Watch out, then, for anything unusual or different things taking place within, through, or around you. This mindfulness will become a support for you more than you may self-realize right now. So, to help you understand this further, you are being made aware in advance that while you subject yourself to your lower mind or ego personality mind only, you may miss the deeper truth hidden here. To gain these, only your inner higher mind and heart shall reveal a higher truth to you. Divinely trust in the process and have divine faith in how, where, and why your heart shall lead you from here, through your innermost heartfelt feelings. Thank you for listening. Seek not that which is seen, but rather that which is not seen. Know thyself first, and so it is. Beloved family of light, before you begin to survey, examine, contemplate, and feel into the Elemental Grace Alliance council work, we would like you to know that what you may find herein, which was initially brought about for the purpose of helping those who originally joined this living organism, not a foundation, organization, or business, to find deeper focus and commitment within themselves to help assist humanity, the elementals, divas and angelic hosts, and much more through this divine plan. Not a human plan, but one that was conceived and inaugurated within the chambers of Shambhala in the 1940s by the masters and other God intelligences. To do that, the human contingency, once he had found those to anchor this plan, had to receive grants and dispensations so as to qualify for extraordinary release of instructions from the masters. This is cosmic law also, and thereby such petitions for any God work here upon the planet must comply with such laws, else any creation remains underpinned by human consciousness, and therefore such manifestation will not become eternal or unaffected by human interference of whatsoever nature. This is also cosmic law, the law of perfection, and there are no exceptions to these laws. Most of the discourses found within this site were directly given to the EGA with the intention of such extraordinary instruction, and having us attaining such grants they were given so as to direct and guide those within the EGA to make the most accurate choices to create the maximum potential possible at this time from within this divine plan. Within many of the discourses, the names Son of Even Pressure Council, an internal circle of light within the EGA, and the Elemental Grace Alliance, or personal names, are spoken of and mentioned a lot, but only for the purpose of identification to directly place focus upon the Master's instruction, training, teaching, and to offer greater perspective. Similar to the way that the Ballards were spoken to by the Masters both to groups and personalities in the I Am activity discourses. So please do not be dismayed by the continued mention of these names, for while they have been used to advance the Elemental Grace Alliance, all discourses, training, and light programs are also being placed here for all dear souls or groups to use for their own evolutionary path, growth and development should they be interested. None of this herein is exclusive. The EGA and its membership are not special. There are millions of dear souls and groups doing this work around the world now. It is just that the EGA has a very specific focus to reach the same destination as everyone else, just may not be doing it in the way others are doing it. Specialness would imply the glorification of the ego. Our only desire here is to glorify God through the Christ within. For the greater glory of God go I. Saint Germain is our principal guiding influence, and it was our holy brother who from day one in 2014 made it clear that he wanted to take a seat upon this council and divine plan. And so he has. However, you will also find all 7 spheres of influence here from many different worlds and dimensions. This has to be so, for these are your roots. This is who you really are. The oneness of God and the all that is. But more than that, you will find the elementals, devas, and angelic host here as well. For without them, you and your physical world of the earth or the solar system would not be here. Nothing would exist in physical form. The goal here is to make this information available to all free of cost. The EGA provides all its services, its PDF books at no charge for educational purposes, so that no one who is guided by their I Am presence, one way or another, cannot, will not be turned away for any reason other than their own free will choice or their own I Am presence, who will take them away for whatever reason that may be further lessons upon their own path. The EGA continues to grow on the generosity of others' love gift who wish to help keep the education of the people of Earth at the forefront of this evolutionary process. Saint Germain, in his Discourse 21 of the I Am Presence Activity Discourses, says this about love gifts and charges for discourses and instructions. I wish every student of this radiation to fix firmly in his mind that concerning these instructions, there may at no time be a charge ever made for them. The student is always free to make love gifts as his heart directs, but to make a definite charge, under the law by which these instructions are given, would close the door immediately. Just the reason for this I may not explain to you at this time. It is not that the laborer is not worthy of his hire, but this work comes under an entirely different activity of the divine law, which I will one day explain to the students. Feeling as I do the earnest, most worthy desire of some of the students to come physically within this inner circle, or radiance, so to speak, I shall endeavor to explain how it is not possible to be done, beautiful and loving as the desire and radiation of the beloved students are. This beloved sister and brother have gone through 30 years of strenuous, conscious preparation for this work. The electronic circle within which this radiation must focus would have to be entirely rearranged and readjusted. It might require some years again to bring it to this point, lovely and beautiful as the radiation of the others is. Each individual has his own distinct radiation and vibratory action, while the invisible mechanism, shall I call it, for this work is one way very powerful, yet in another way it is as delicate as a gossamer veil. I assure you, beloved students, that either my personal presence or my consciously directed ray is always present whenever either this beloved sister or brother is giving forth these instructions. Here let me urge you that at no time is it wise for any student under this radiation to give forth verbatim these instructions to one who is not yet under this radiation. Extracts, verbal or otherwise, may be given forth for the help of others, but we do not wish anyone to be so unfortunate as to say he is authorized to give this forth when he has not had permission to do so. This channel must always be kept clean, pure, and unselfish, and these instructions may not be commercialized at any time. The application within the instruction which is given from time to time, if used sincerely, with true feeling and confidence in the instruction, will cause the student or the teacher using it to become such an invincible magnet for the opulence and riches of God that there will be no need to commercialize the instruction for the sake of a livelihood. For any individual, whether at first he has the full understanding of its meaning or not, who will be conscious that I am the omnipresent, limitless supply of God's riches and opulence in my use, will sooner or later come into the full conviction of this mighty truth. I understand fully how important the financial support of the individual seems to him. But I say to you, beloved students, that financial support is always as the shifting sands until you begin to consciously apply the use of the I Am Presence as your omnipresent, limitless supply of either money, love, understanding, light, or illumination. So try to receive the full conviction of the radiation of this which I give to you, that you may use it with a certain unwavering consciousness which will give you forever your freedom from all financial strain. End of excerpt. Of course, Saint Germain is speaking here of the I Am Activity Discourses with Guy and Edna Ballard. However, he is also giving the very same instruction to the EGA, as we have been given the grants and dispensation, to be an authority of the I Am with the permission to use in the same way. And it is through Saint Germain and the Christ Jesus we do our best to adhere to these and many other conditions of engagement set out by Saint Germain within his loving guidance. This grant you will find within this site for any validation you may require, as well as his explanation that he mentions above. Yes, you will find personality here, but please do not see this in a negative or glamorous way. It may be in some ways, but it is never intended to be such, as you will discover if you dive deep enough and follow the teachings of what is shared herein. Rather, read, review, and study what is within and around the words within your heart. Your mind by itself will not understand much of what is shared here. The Masters are teaching from the heart, about the heart, for the time has come that mind alone will not allow us to transcend beyond the ninth-dimensional realms of mankind's ultimate potential to follow Jesus the Christ example, to rise above the ninth dimension and into the electronic belt. You have found your way here for a purpose. You will find that purpose, if that is your holy desire. But only you will discover it by following your own inner I Am guidance as to what it knows of the truth that is here to help you move closer to the Prime Creator's love and light. It will take you to know yourself first. Have a wonderful and loving journey here, and we are here to help anyone who may ask for assistance. But now the aim is for you, through your own I Am Presence, to deliver what you need. No other person or group can do that for you. You are your own and only teacher, but you are the one who must do the inner work to claim your seat upon the Christ Council and to claim your own ascension. There are no shortcuts to this divine God process. There are 3 discourses you will find just below the full transcription buttons of PDF and MP3 after the introduction on the web page that will provide a pretty good foundation to stand upon as you continue your journey here. But you are solely responsible for your own I Am Present qualification discernment as to what is right for you or what is not. The words you find here are just that, words on a computer screen. They only have meaning when one gives them meaning and places them into their own life to validate the truth or not. Unless something is experienced firsthand, nothing will ever become true knowledge or wisdom. That is the way of the human being becoming a Christed one. To truly become a member of the Elemental Grace Alliance, it is important that you read the God Awakening book to fully understand the goals and potentials of this divine plan. Without this fundamental understanding of the truth contained within this book, your focus would simply remain outside of what Saint Germain is speaking of, to raise one's consciousness, to be able to step through the next rings of consciousness passeth not, and to become the divine alchemist. This book, then, is our petition to the Karmic Board of Directors that gave us the grants to move forward in the manifestation of this divine plan. We have the Master Dwal Kul 14-Rule Study Group, which gives one the detailed information about the human journey and the various initiation process, which is always a great help to understand. Yet it is not necessary to understand to do this course, as it is not a course for the lower mind. But it is here if you wish to join in. Find the details on the Rule 1 Study Group button above in the menu. Review and make your choice. There are the EGA light programs, which presently, according to the Masters, are prerequisites that offer dear souls a fast track in raising their vibrational resonance and light quotients, so they can then receive their own investment of energies from the Godmother Vesta, which is also a cosmic law when engaging and creating the perfection that God desires. For more information about these light programs, you will find them on the SOEPC Council button above. Review and make your choices. This will provide a complete understanding of the 12 mind powers that Jesus had to master before he could ascend. Go to the Mind Powers button above in the menu, which will take you there. The Saint Germain Alchemy classes are presently not available in any group format. However, the discourses for them are available here for your use and contemplation. Should you wish to undertake such a class, you may do so. Saint Germain does give guidance, however, that this is now an individual training and not a class activity. This may change any time, but for now we are honoring his request. The first 2 classes are on the website now, and the other 3 will be available soon. The discourse by Saint Germain explaining what it means by "know thyself first" is also being placed below for your immediate discernment to understand with more inner senses to these new realities to become and Christed one. It remains at the present unedited for public dissemination, but look beyond this and see it more from the core message. By all means, follow the exercise given and see what may transpire, for it will give you a good indication of where you are presently at in the knowing of thyself first. With greater resources being magnetized to the EGA will give us the opportunity for the reformatting of these classes that the EGA members were engaged in with Saint Germain and his class environment. We can only apologize at this time that all within the EGA is not as it may be if we had the resources, both human and financial, available to make them so. But we are getting there. You will find this discourse on the Alchemy Class 2 button above in the menu. There's not much we can offer more than this for the moment, unless you have some specific questions. But by all means, when you know what you wish to do, in any part of the EGA Divine Plan, even if to offer your service as a volunteer in the areas that we need immediate help to continue its expansion and growth, which we'll see on the EGA Recourse button below, then please write to us. We welcome all inquiries and help available to make this divine plan a mighty success. One last thing before we close this introduction, and we must tell you this now, so as to not have anyone misunderstand the work in becoming the Christed one that you have come here to be. This is not an easy process. It takes time and much deep inner work. It is impossible to achieve in a single step and is made up of millions of tiny incremental steps. The ego personality will fight you all the way. It is also not possible then while remaining within the ego personality or lower conscious mind. This part of you shall require gentle, kind, and loving support from the higher self. Your ego is not allowed to be deleted or removed, and this is not the way. It has to be fully integrated and allowed to merge in a way that maintains truth and understanding, not the application or force, judgment or criticism. This is why it is imperative that you must, each one, build your own communication skills to be able to communicate with your own I Am presence. That is where the EGA can help with its new formula and templates of approach. The EGA has been informed that all such potentials are here now upon this planet. Human consciousness is ready for these next steps. For those ready, it will be more than likely happen within the next 2 years, around November 2022 has been indicated. However, it could happen today, tomorrow, in a month, or in 10 years, or lifetimes away. But it is here now, available to all who can correctly and in their right application to God life, step into this God life in the likeness and similitude of God the Father Light and God the Mother's Love. You will be tested every step of the way, and as you pass such tests, you will be given greater responsibility, and then tested again until you prove you are ready to take the final step. a step that you will not decide upon. The final step will be decided by God, and you know when you hear the voice of God, as Jesus did within you. Men and women should understand that although their surrender to God be complete, following surrender they must wait for the fiat of bestowal that is pronounced by the God presence as a restatement of the blessing given by God at the birth of his offspring. Thou art my beloved Son. This day have I begotten thee. This takes place when one has relinquished the control of his four lower bodies to his Christ self, thus enabling his true self, the Christ, to obey the fiat. Take dominion over the earth being one's own footstool kingdom, the four lower bodies. Remember that even Jesus the Christ came to the moment of his anointing. The Holy Spirit descended, and the voice of God renewed the ancient covenant. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. This is the timeless fiat of creation uttered from the foundation of the world, reconsecrating the soul who has pledged to renew and service his vow taken at inner levels to do the will of God. Therefore, when man's right to function as a son of God is restored, the moment of creativity is born because he has once again recognized the power of God's love to forgive his sins, to set aside his karma until such a time as he has gained enough self-mastery to stand, face, and conquer his human creation. Now the bond of life within itself weeds him to the highest purpose of alchemy, and that, mind you, without ever robbing him of his true identity. End of excerpt. Saint Germain on Alchemy, Book Chapter 8, Book 2, What Alchemy Can Mean to a Decaying World. Dear souls, the human race is at a very unique place right now. It may seem quite chaotic around us, but what is important is that those who wish to make the transition above mentioned must not become physically, mentally, or emotionally attached to such things, no matter how dire they may seem. This, then, is a time for you, the new Christed ones, to become observers and move away from the acceptance of being the victims caught up in the outer world. This is a time for you to use what you observe to know thyself first, and to place these new awarenesses into your life as experience. It is therefore your responsibility right now to only observe that which is held within your own world environment. Place your foci there. Correct your own world first, after which you will magnetize and magnify that which is further afield as you grow in resonance and light quotient. We are told that it shall be around 15 generations, or 300 years, before the mass of humanity will ascend within the Christ conscious together. Yet the time is now that we face a massive fork in the road. Those who shall follow the old consciousness and an expanded world and technology, and the continued industry and manufacturing, and those who will return back to nature, and will use their higher consciousness to provide all that they need to live their life in Christ. The new pyramidal light temple radiation centers will be the beginning of such communities that will live in such Christ consciousness, totally independent and unaffected by the opposing consciousness. It will take time, but the transition has begun. The time is now to make the choices in you, for your families, friends, and colleagues in home, work, and outer group environments. Do this now, in the way you wish to travel home from here. What say you? A master seeks only that which he or she chooses in the life they wish to live, and to create only those things they wish to see as a citizen of the new I Am, one world nation. Thank you for your time and energy in listening and sharing in this experience with us. We are one in love, in the creation of heaven on earth. This is the only reality. All else are the illusions of human creation. God bless you. Seek now, not that which is seen, rather that which is unseen. May you pass every test. Know thyself first. In love and light we share, and so it is. P.S. Having reviewed what you feel you need for now, after reading or listening to this EGA introduction, or what your I Am presence may lead you toward, then please contact us if we can be of any further service, and we hope this information has been helpful. In love and joy, EGA.